Hello, good day, everyone. So welcome to this APN Festival. My name is Joy Guy, World Green Building Council Asia Pacific Programs Head. So in this APN Festival, we have a designated theme in each month to cover the key topics that are relevant to our Asia Pacific network. So today is our third run of the APN Awards Finalist Showcase webinar. So far, we have learned from the business leadership and also the women leadership awards category. And now we're entering the category of project showcase. And today is the theme of commercial buildings. So commercial building consists of many types of buildings like office, hotel, shopping mall, and other types. So commercial building welcomes large volume of occupants as well as visitors. So it has a high running hour of air conditioning systems as well, which makes it one of the most important types of buildings for the global decarbonization target. So today we have the opportunity to learn from three outstanding projects in the commercial category to showcase the possibility of achieving sustainability beyond the conventional way. So by showcasing these outstanding projects, we aim to create market confidence and eventually seeing more and more low carbon sustainable buildings in the future. So there are three projects we are going to showcase today. So the first one will be Lima Estate by Lima Land from Philippines. And we also have Schneider Electric East Asia and Japan headquarters by Schneider Electric in Singapore. We also have Menara IQ. It's also the IQ Tower by HSBC from Malaysia. Right, so very, very exciting. So the first one, we are going to welcome Mr. Rafael. So he will be sharing the Lima Land project with us. Over to you. Let me just do a quick check. Over to you.
Hello, good morning to our partners from the Philippine Green Building Council and the World Green Building Council. Distinguished guests, my name is Rafael Fernandez de Mesa, and I'm the head of Aboitiz Infracapital Economic Estates and also the president of Lima Land Inc. and Cebu Industrial Park Developers Inc. It's a pleasure to be here today to introduce Aboitiz Infracapital and to talk about the sustainability programs and the smart city initiatives that we have incorporated and that we continue to build upon at our economic estates. So Aboitiz Infracapital is the infrastructure arm of the Aboitiz Group, which is one of the Philippines' largest and most established business conglomerates. We trace our roots back to the late 1800s, and Aboitiz has transformed its business from abaca trading to owning major interests in power, construction, land, infrastructure, food, and banking. The Aboitiz Group is also recognized as one of the best managed companies in the Philippines and in the ASEAN region, consistently cited for its commitment to good corporate governance and corporate social responsibility. Over the last 30 years, Aboitiz Infracapital Economic Estates has been committed to advancing industries in life, and we have done so by upholding best practices in environmental management, social responsibility, and good governance within our economic estates, as well as in the communities wherein we operate. Through our economic estates, we have been delivering innovative concepts in the form of mixed-use estates anchored on industry and complemented by commercial, residential, and institutional uses. Today, our economic estates span 1,400 hectares of development across the Philippines and are home to upwards of 200 world-class companies and leaders in industry that directly employ 100,000 people. Our economic estates are located in Luzon and in Visayas, and they include Mes 2 Estate, a 63-hectare PEZA registered zone in Lapu-Lapu City, adjacent to the Mactan Cebu International Airport. West Cebu Estate, a 540-hectare PEZA registered zone in Balamban, just over 50 kilometers from Cebu City, and also known as the shipbuilding capital of the Philippines. And lastly, our largest project, Lima Estate, a nearly 800-hectare PEZA registered zone in Lipa and Malvar, Batangas, situated at the heart of Calabarzon, the Philippines' most well-known and premier center of industry. Our efforts have been recognized both locally and abroad, and we have received numerous accolades citing our leadership in industrial anchored development. And these recognitions are not only a testament to the Philippines being an attractive destination for foreign investment, but it also shows that our team's expertise in developing and operating industrial estates is at par with the highest of global standards. Now, while we are proud of our track record in industrial development, we recently celebrated what may be our most important achievement to date. Over the past year, we have been working with the Philippine Green Building Council on a pilot program for BERDE district certification. BERDE, or Building for Ecologically Responsive Design Excellence, is a tool utilized by the Philippine Green Building Council to assess, measure, monitor, and certify the performance of green building projects that go above and beyond existing laws, regulations, and mandatory standards. It's important to note that the tool is not only recognized as a benchmark locally, but it's also guided by the World Green Building Council's internationally recognized standards for green development. We are honored to be the first and the only industrial estate in the Philippines to receive BERDE district certification for Lima Estate. And we're also very proud to have set the bar very high for those that will follow by having achieved the maximum 5-star rating. In the process, we also became the largest project of any kind in the Philippines to achieve this certification. Adding to that, Lima Estate also recently won the PhilGBC Leadership in Sustainable Design and Performance Award for the commercial subcategory, an award that recognizes pioneering green building projects that set new benchmarks for sustainability. And just this October, Property Guru Philippines Property Awards named Lima Estate Best Green Development and also awarded us with a special recognition for Sustainable Design and Construction Award. These achievements are validation of our commitment to sustainable development, including the contribution of our projects to health and well-being, community engagement, and economic opportunities. We recognize the responsibility that comes with leadership, given how many people our projects impact. Now, situated in Lipan, Malvar, Batangas is our flagship economic estate, Lima Estate. Lipan and Malvar are both thriving communities with a combined population count of close to 500,000 people, drawn in by the economic activity that Lima Estate has helped to generate. At present, Lima Estate is home to upwards of 140 world-class companies that directly employ over 65,000 people. Lima's fully integrated ecosystem of infrastructure services, as well as its commercial, residential, and institutional components, benefit not only the employees within the industrial estate, but also the flourishing communities within and around Lima Estate. While industry has been the catalyst for what Lima Estate has become, Lima Estate is also quickly emerging as more than just a leading industrial estate. It has also become a center for commerce in the Batangas province, thanks to its 30-hectare central business district. We envision the central business district to continue creating high value-added jobs outside of Metro Manila and to support Lima Estate in becoming a sustainable and smart economic hub, not just to rival the best in the country, but one that will serve as a benchmark in the Asia-Pacific region. Currently housed within the CBD are various commercial components, such as the outlets at Lipa, which is the largest outdoor lifestyle mall in the area. And here you'll find popular brands such as H&M, Nike, and Adidas, as well as a number of restaurants and entertainment offerings. This is also where you'll find the Aboitiz Pitch, which is the largest multi-sport artificial turf in all of Luzon. Complementing the outlets is Lima Exchange, which is where you'll find your everyday essentials. Housed here are Robinson Supermarket, a hardware store, a pharmacy, as well as other basic needs, including Lima's public transport terminal, where commuters are transported in, out, and around the state. At the heart of the Lima Central Business District, there will be a 7-tower office park built in a campus-like format. And earlier this year, we broke ground on the first building, Lima Tower 1, which is an 11-story office building with 34,000 square meters of leasable space, and which is also a PEZA certified and BERDE accredited green building. It's meant to cater primarily to BPO companies looking to access the abundant and highly skilled labor force in the area. And Lima is the perfect place, given we already have the full BPO ecosystem in place, which includes the proper infrastructure, lifestyle, and everyday essentials, as well as housing and transportation. Now, surrounding the office park, we have commercial lots for sale, which represent a unique opportunity for investors that are looking to capitalize on an already thriving location, as well as on the anticipated economic expansion outside of Metro Manila. Here, lots range from 1,800 square meters to 5,000 square meters and are perfectly suited to meet the needs of BPO companies, traditional offices, condos, as well as hotels and institutional uses. For us, selling to third parties and like-minded developers will allow us to expedite the fulfillment of our vision more quickly. Finally, there's also a wide array of housing options within and in close proximity to Lima Estate, such as Aboitiz lands, the villages at Lipa, and the Campo Verde and Summerhill subdivisions, which together offer close to 4,000 units of housing, varying in size and price. For shorter stays within Lima Central Business District, you'll also find Lima Park Hotel, which is a 136-room, 4-star hotel with ballroom facilities that can host anything from weddings to conventions. Now, over the years, we have been continuously expanding Lima Estate's footprint, and today we are home to, as I mentioned, 140 companies and growing. Together, we have developed a strong and thriving ecosystem, attracting leaders of industries in electronics and semiconductor, in automotive components and wire harness, in medical technologies, in printers, motorcycle production, and food and beverage, among others. We at Aboitiz Infra Capital continue to be optimistic about the future. And earlier this year, we broke ground on a new 57-hectare expansion, which is part of a larger 150-hectare expansion that will bring new inventory to market. The market has been responding very enthusiastically to our expansion, and to serve that additional future demand from companies looking to capitalize on the benefits of locating in the Philippines. Beyond this 150-hectare expansion, we also project to bring to market an additional 450 hectares within the next 10 years. While we are proud of what we've been able to accomplish up to this point, we have even bigger aspirations going forward. In a rapidly changing and competitive world, we realize that the only way forward is to elevate and transform the way we do business, which is why at Aboitiz Infra Capital Economic Estates, we are committed to putting sustainability and smart technology adoption at the forefront of everything we do. For instance, using Lima Estate as an example, our power utility, Lima Enerzone, sourced 21% of its energy from renewable sources, which include geothermal and hydro. In addition, the retail electricity supplier of Aboitiz Power delivers 18 megawatts of renewable energy from its geothermal plants to Lima Estate's contestable customers. Furthermore, our own developments within the Central Business District, as well as the large majority of our industrial locators, utilize solar roof-mounted systems to help cover their energy demand, which combined produce a total of 17 megawatts of power from solar energy. An example of that is the outlets at Lipa, which has a rooftop solar panel system that was installed by Aboitiz Power and which offsets up to 43% of the building's operational energy demand and 31,000 tons of carbon dioxide annually, equivalent to planting about 1.4 million trees. Contributing to the responsible management of our precious water resources, Lima Water Corporation operates Lima Estate's smart water network, wherein the water facilities are interconnected and intelligent through the use of technology. The smart water network enabled Lima Water to save 30% of its operational budget for repairs, as well as to reduce its fuel consumption by 20%. Lima Water also significantly improved its response time during equipment failure and maintained a high average facility uptime of 99.3%. Lima Water is also an accredited environmental testing laboratory of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, affirming its commitment to outstanding water quality testing standards. It is the first and the only accredited laboratory of its kind within an industrial park in the Philippines, and it has also begun to extend its services to neighboring communities outside of Lima Estate. Further, we at Aboitiz Infra Capital also ensure that we advance net carbon zero principles through the implementation of sustainable construction practices. These include using precast systems for our perimeter fences, the use of vetiver grass for slope protection, as well as the use of sustainably sourced and recycled materials for the estate's infrastructure needs. Passive design strategies and active technologies are also implemented throughout the Central Business District to reduce overall energy demand. Existing commercial complexes, such as the outlets at Lipa and Lima Exchange, are designed to take advantage of the area's microclimate and its 300-meter elevation above sea level by being constructed in an open air format to maximize daylight and natural ventilation. In addition to that, our sustainability initiatives, we are also introducing smart city features, which are also meant to support the Aboitiz Group's transformation efforts towards becoming the Philippines' first techglomerate. Most recently, we've been working with a globally renowned urban infrastructure and technology firm from Singapore to help us turn vision into reality. We've finalized the framework and strategy and have begun to roll out priority initiatives. These initiatives were prioritized based on a number of factors, such as whether they will generate cost savings or productivity improvements to us and or our locators, whether they are in line with best-in-class practice, typically associated with the world's movement towards net zero, and whether they elevate our position amongst competitors. One important initiative we're working on is decarbonizing our transport system. This will be done through traditional means such as improving walkability and bikeability, as well as enhancement of the open space networks and landscapes throughout the estate. Additionally, we will be providing more housing options within the boundaries of the estate to cater to a wider range of economic classes, primarily those who are working in the industrial area. And early next year, we're very excited to be rolling out a fleet of electric minibuses to operate the Interlima shuttle system. With the population within Lima Estate expected to grow to 100,000 people by the end of the decade, and with a rapidly flourishing central business district, we recognize that there are also opportunities to involve individuals, smaller businesses within and around the estate in our initiatives. Within this quarter, Lima Estate is also set to launch a compost to fertilizer program to manage solid food waste gathered from stakeholders within the estate. And this project includes the construction of a centralized composting facility that will initially serve the needs of the estate, but later on, it will also be able to serve the neighboring communities. Furthermore, in collaboration with the Aboitiz Group, an urban farm will soon rise within Lima Central Business District, intended to increase awareness and empower the community to grow their own food, as well as to increase production in a sustainable manner. In closing, I would like to express my gratitude to the organizers of this important event and for the opportunity to talk about how Aboitiz infracapital economic estates are expanding, elevating, and transforming the way we do things. Doing so will ensure our economic estates adhere to the requirements of an increasingly sophisticated and discerning market, helping to establish the Philippines as a preferred investment destination in the region, and allowing us to continue creating high value-added jobs that uplift the lives of millions of Filipinos. As we do so, we look forward to strengthening the partnership with the Philippine Green Building Council and the World Green Building Council. And again, thank you for having me. Good morning and enjoy the rest of the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafael. What a beautiful note indeed. And we really hope to see more and more these kind of outstanding projects in Philippines and the region as well. Thank you so much for setting the example. And again, congratulations to be the finalist of this prestigious APN Awards. Thank you. All right, so next we will have another project, which is Schneider Electric East Asia and Japan headquarters by Schneider Electric, and this is from Singapore. So we'll welcome Sebastian to walk us through about this project.
Right, hello everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Great. Let me share my screens. All right, good one. So good morning, everyone. So today I would like to go walk through in terms of a insight of our building, which is the Southeast Asia headquarters in Kuala Lumpur, Singapore. So we are transforming it to be a...
Sorry, Sebastian.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. We can't see your screen. Your sharing.
I see. Give me a second. me see. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes. Yes, I
Okay.
can play with the full screen.
Sure, with the right. Give me a second.
Yes, now it's good.
All right. Good. All right. So good morning, everyone. I'd like to give you introductions myself. My name is Sebastian, a domain leader for integrated facility management across GSE International, and also a real estate leader in for East Asia and Japan. So first and foremost, I would like to thank the the host for these opportunities for us to share. Ultimately, Schneider Electric is the world leader in digital transformation of energy and sustainability management and automation. So in terms of the 2021, Schneider has EcoStruxure Solutions has helped customers and partners to reduce the carbon emission by 84 million tons of carbon emission, and also have ability to achieve their energy and sustainability objectives through the power of electric and digital solutions. So we have entered Singapore in 1973, making our East Asia and Japan regions as a headquarters in Singapore. So in 2018, we have commenced with office consolidation projects to combine four Singapore offices into one location. Right now, we call it the heartbeat of our Southeast Asia headquarters, Kalampau's, optimizing the office footprints and also at the same time enhance the collaborations within the business entities. So retrofitted this brownfield building into a smart and sustainability building, giving a new life for this building, which hosted more than 1,200 of our employees or partners. So we have committed to achieve carbon neutral operations by 2025, and in 2030 to strive and achieve net zero carbon emission to our building operations. So Schneider Electric have joined the net zero carbon building commitment, pledging to ensure that all buildings will operate, inclusive of our supply chain, at net zero carbon by 2050. So to achieve these sustainability goals, so we need to transform the way that we design, we build and operate in our buildings. So two key trends that will drive new innovation in the next generation of green building. Firstly, digitization will enable buildings to leverage on Internet of Things, big data and artificial intelligence, machine learning, data visualization to optimize the system performance profiles. So secondly, we are looking at electrifications that will effect a shift from fossil fuels used to renewable sources of energy. So this all digital and all electric future gives us a foundation to reshape the life cycle of our building. So for decades, we have been working with our customers to solve the energy management side of it, that's in terms of the challenges. And based on what we have learned, we have believed that the buildings of the future should be founded on these four key pillars of four key principles: sustainability, resiliency, hyper-efficiency, as well as people-centric. So enhanced well-being with a people-centric building, the design for people as our staff is our valuable assets. So it is estimated that we spend close to 90% of our time indoors. The indoor environment has an enormous impact to our health and well-being. So people-centric buildings will adapt to enhance a people's time in the building, digital experience, providing a healthy and safe and welcoming environment to live, to work and collaborate. Building resiliency. So this is a ready platform with the capacity to enhance and faster response and resolution charter. As the numbers of natural and man-made disasters rises, building owners and operations must adapt continuously to new obstacles, all right, during the times of crisis that often quickly change the business priorities. So at the same time that what we're looking at is that how resilience is the system of building infrastructures and operations, team deployment to minimize the downtime. This is a ready platform with the ability to perform a predictive alert notification and predictive maintenance regime, right? Forecasting the ability of mean time towards failure and also mean time between failure, ability to determine the variables and correlations. So the benefit of a hyper-efficiency building itself will also provides a seamless control with end-to-end digital platform and solutions, enhanced in the technology and the IoT, enabled drive devices, and empowered the building owners and operations to use this big data and AI to generally, or we'll call it greatly lowered the operation costs and improved the productivities by addressing the space management, operation efficiency, and the occupants' experience. So in terms of sustainability, we're actually looking to how do we build it for zero carbon, a roadmap to realize decarbonization of the building, equipped with flexibility of green energy assets with variable options. So in terms of, in Singapore context, our government aims to drive 80% of the building to operate and certify as a green building by 2030. So at present, only 40% of the buildings able to achieve this title. And Schneider Electric Kallang Pulse is being accredited by BCA as a Green Mark Platinum Award based on the 2021 criteria. Our building have obtained the prestigious award, Leaderships in Sustainability Intelligence Building, accredited by SGBC as well as BCA. Hence, Kallang Pulse is one of the prime example of how green energy solutions can transform a brownfield building environment into a smart and sustainability green building. I also like to give a brief introduction of a building, which is our journey towards a smart building. So Kallang Pulse as a Southeast Asia headquarters is a model of sustainability powered by our own EcoStruxure solution. This is a 27-year-old building, a brownfield, house more than 1,200 employees in the building. It's a brownfield, and through retrofitting it, we have transformed it into a smart and sustainable building. What is smart building? Right? What elements or factors to shape the building into a smart building? So the smart buildings are driven by three factors: sensors, which is connected products; network, which is the edge controls; and in terms of engagement, which is called the apps and advisors. This will be able to generate the real-time statistic and information. All in all, we have about 5,000 over connected products, only 1,800 products are SE products. We have ready platform in terms of to interface and to connect the OEM products, right? 3 edge controls and 7 advisors, such as building monitoring system, power monitoring expert, workplace advisors, resource advisors, and assets advisors, right? So this all in all driving the efficiency of the field system, base built infrastructure, ensuring that our electricity consumption is reduced and carbon footprints is being lowered. This is the framework, all right, essentially as an intelligent network of connected products that transmit data using wireless technologies and the cloud, which is a cloud-based IoT application. We receive, we analyze it, we manage data in real time, at the same time to help better decision making, to improve the well-being and the wellness of our end users, as well as the efficiency of the building. Right. So in terms of Kallang Pulse overview, giving a more snapshots on that. So an overview of the Kallang Pulse building and its facilities is meant to showcase how the building has been optimized for energy efficiency and how it is focused on digital solutions and electrifications, right, to enhance the human experience part of it, which is in terms of a pillar, which is a people-centric. A mobile app engage, which is SE, has connect our staff and occupants, enable them to access into our building facilities remotely, such as booking the meeting rooms, car park slots availability, F&B outlets, and Active Directory. So news flash on the latest corporate events and activities are also being shared. So in sense of connecting the people, we enhance the collaborations, such as social engagement virtually. So the facilities are also equipped with 12 EV charging stations powered by the on-site solar panels to charge our service fleet, of which of 80% of electric vehicles. Subsequently, we will target to be 100% of our service fleets to be EVs, a model by 2025. With passive energy reductions, the building facade windows panels meet the ETTV criteria to reduce the amount of building heat built up during the hot sunny days, and also with the selections of chillers system to have a higher energy efficiency ratio, such as magnetic bearings chillers, variable speed drive at the water side, volume control damper at the air side, which enhanced and achieved a higher system performance rating and also optimized the energy profiles. So in terms of the EcoStruxures, which is Schneider Electric IoT enabled, it's a plug and play. It's an open architecture platform for homes, buildings, data centers, infrastructures, and industries. EcoStruxures BMS, and it provides a powerful permission system that is easy to manage, flexible, and adapts to all kinds of system sizes. So at each control levels, data collections are essential platform the type of data that's been collected in a smart building, that we generate two types of data, dynamic and static. Dynamic data refers to the building system real-time data residing into our EcoStruxure architecture, and also the building activities, data from the occupants of facility management processes that are available on site and our IFM partners cloud. So static data will consist of unchanged information in the digital format, such as drawing, specification, manual checklist, and system logs, etc. And how do we collect this data? In order to have an effective data collection, we will have a standard process workflow. So a well set up architecture essentials to further integrations with analytics and advisor solutions. The data would slowly flow in directly to the edge solutions for centralized and real-time control that will improve the occupant well-being and also manage operation efficiency. It also synchronizes with advisors for advanced analytics such as fault detection, heat mapping, and predictive maintenance. So in terms of EcoStruxure technology itself, all right, so we use workplace advisors such as, we call it in short is WPA. It is also another EcoStruxure technologies and to ensure the comfort of the building occupants. The technologies incorporates IoT workplace sensors to provide wellness and space utilization analytics and ensuring the comfort of the building occupants. So at advisors levels, digital insights that will be able to drive data analytics represents, nowadays is another key emerging need for improvement and smart building operations. In fact, if on one hand, it is essential to have well-structured information base, but also updated and accessible. But on the other hand, it also have the possibilities of analyzing the information base to gain insight is even more crucial. So as these solutions for dynamic and static data, EcoStruxure's app analytics services helps to deliver real-time insights from the connected products. In terms of the building of the future that we're looking at, so water conservation program also create awareness and active management. So as the Public Utilities Board, which is in short PUB, certified water efficiency in terms of for the particular building itself, that has provided some guidelines on that basis. Kallang Pass has also adopted various infrastructures to improve water efficiency, using water efficient taps and mixers for all toilets and pantries areas. The HVAC system at Kallang Pass features cooling towers, which are equipped with differs, and also to eliminate water resources. And water regulators have been installed in all water tanks. So in addition, Schneider has also made necessary provisions and infrastructures in place for the future switch over and will utilize new water for operation purpose within Kallang Pass, as in the Green Tower. So new water is highly treated, reclaimed wastewater which is produced by the Singapore PUB, and also at the same time that we create awareness to all their employees that has been informed and educated on water conservation techniques. In waste management, all right, so at Kallang Pass and across the international regions, we have implemented resource advisors. It's an enterprise tool to capture the energy usage, water conservation, consumption, waste management that is deposited in the centralized database, analyzing the data, rendering, and also at the same time provide insights, benchmarking across the different property types versus the usage, identifying also any opportunities to drive productivity. We have also in terms of to capture the energy waste, water consumption, and the waste management itself that will provide us with a continuous effort in place to improve waste minimization and reuse maximization. So operations tracks and reports on the waste output, measuring against the materials and volume of each discard. And at the same time, we track and report on waste has helped in settling our organization waste against a baseline, allowing us for more effective future planning and effective waste management, improving the overall bottom line of our business with the waste collected, measured, and sold to the relevant vendors. Overarching summary of energy and water conservations. So we actually adopted the EU the guidelines from the BCA, which is the EUI standards, and even EMPI. So in terms of that, we're looking at, which we have been committed to a voluntary disclosure of the building energy performance data with BCA. So the completeness of our data is also being sufficient to generate the OSE report directly from the BCA portal. And smart solution and products, all right, we are using smart and green products that is used in passive and active design, smart building solutions that enable real-time integrations, monitoring, control, and diagnostics. So in Schneider Electric, we adopt continuous improvement and also with continuous commission through active energy management approach, such as data visualization, which is scenario-based setting, ability to establish the energy conservation measures program with year-on-year energy reduction targets. This provide us with the ability to drive dedicated focus group subject matter expert, all right, to train and analyze with analytic skill sets, ability to access the data mainframe across the multiple system work streams in a closed loop monitoring through system integrations, and also at the same time, ability to call out any system abnormalities and they find the opportunities to drive energy reduction through fine-tuning of the default system setting, algorithm, and aims to drive system efficiency. Talent Pulse is also currently working with our partner IES to build a digital twin solution. The benefit of a digital twin is its ability to optimize building energy performance using real-time data and running simulations of multiple what-if scenarios for future projects to build the energy conservation measures, which is called, in short, ECM. Our calculations have also noted that the digital twin approach potentially contributes to an additional 15% of energy saving for commercial buildings with its inbuilt physical-based calculations, which such as using AI and ML techniques. Our energy and carbon emission reduction best practice and application of our green technologies are regularly shared with our visitors with the Schneider Electric Innovation Hub located in Kallang Pals. So between 2018 and 2021, we have facilitated an average of 267 visits per year with an average of 3,518 visitors each year. So visitors, customers or partners that visits form the majority of the visits to the Innovation Hub. This visit itself were delivered on-site guided tours, conducted virtually, or even a mix of both options. So our Innovation Hub centers also caters for students' visits as well, as part of our belief that educational opportunities will support the pipeline of a talent needed to help realize the net zero goals. In terms of beyond the energy and resource management, the welfare of our tenants and feedbacks are also key tenet to a green building. So available platform to provide to engage our staff and occupants via online service requests or online survey. A faster turnaround time to hear and addresses the voices, enhance the level of digital experience. So at the present, our tenants happiness index reviews overall indoor satisfaction is at 69%. 79% were satisfied or very satisfied with the amount of workplace allocated despite the reduced footprints. This is the last slide, which illustrates the examples of our future techniques for employees engagement. So we have set up an active committee on corporate responsibility and green energy, driving sustainability education, creating the right level of awareness, a clear defined user guide, right, which is SE energy and environment policies and directives that is in place. Dynamic communication channels are being in place to keep everyone abreast of the latest development. So with the COVID-19, everyone starts to rethink on the future living and workspaces. There has been also an ever-growing focus on occupant well-being. So prioritizing the health and safety of our employees have never been more crucial. So employees that expect to work in environments that not only comply with the government regulations, but also to give them a peace of mind while at work. So through adopting the right technologies, we do not only achieve sustainability, energy efficiency, OPEX optimization, but we also create a healthy environment for occupants to run, to return to work and feeling confidence and safety, right? So at Schneider Electric, our aspirations is to improve the lives of our people everywhere in the world and developing a sustainable energy solutions. with this, I'll end my presentation and I hand this time back to the host. Thank you.
Thank you, Sebastian. I think one of the key highlights we wanted to bring the message across is retrofitting an existing building has a lot of advantage. First of all, although it's getting more difficult compared with greening a new building, but itself actually help to reduce the upfront embodied carbon. At the same time, we're also able to recycle a lot of things from the existing building. So that's a very strong message we wanted to send to the industry. And very impressive with all this high tech and all these monitoring device data itself makes a big difference for us to monitor and improve the existing building as well. Thank you, Sebastian. So next we have another project, which is the Manara IQ, which is also IQ Tower by HSBC. So we will invite CK to walk us through about this project. Over to you, CK.
Thank you. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes, clear.
Okay, great. I'm going to talk about the Manara IQ at TRX. Manara IQ is actually owned by HSBC Bank. They are the developer of this building and they occupy half of this building. So, of course, HSBC has declared that they're going net zero by 2050, and this is just a part of the journey. Okay. The Manara IQ is actually located in TRX, or Tun Razak Exchange. It's a financial hub of Kuala Lumpur, near the city center. So the advantage of this site they've selected is actually basically facing north-south. The building is allowed to be facing north-south. So some pictures of the building is completed, is operating. This is some nice shots of it. The layout of the building, if you can see, is that the east side of the building is the core. Now that has a good advantage in our Malaysian climate because it often rains in the evening. So in the afternoon, afternoon sun, where the sun is coming in from the west, they are mostly overcast sky, so you don't get a lot of direct sunlight. But where else on the east side, we get a lot of direct sunlight because it's in the morning. And we don't get a lot of rain in the morning, so it's clear sky, direct sunlight. So having the core facing the east will take a big part of the impact from the solar gain from the morning sun. So, and the west side is basically the atrium space, and right next to the atrium space is actually the pantry area. We will show you more of this later. And then the offices are facing north and south, basically. The project concept is to get a LEED Gold version 4, and it's highly energy efficient and actually very, very high indoor environment quality. I will talk more about that as we go on further. In terms of advancing net zero, like I said, it's highly energy efficient. This building is also very high density for Malaysia. It's designed for 8 meters squared per person. And it has a very, very high fresh air ventilation rate of 8 liters per second per person, more of a European fresh air rate than the ASHRAE fresh air rate, which is much lower. And because of the space, the location of this project is in the city center. So the space is actually very valuable, and we need to keep the mechanical footprint as small as possible so that we can rent out more spaces. So in terms of the building energy intensity, we have done some modeling very early on in the project. For a VAV base case, according to ASHRAE 90, this building would have consumed about 165 kilowatt hours per meter square per year. If we use a very efficient VAV system, okay, there's an 18% reduction. If we add the heat recovery view to it, it has another major reduction because it actually pre-cool and pre-dry the fresh air coming into the building. because this building has remember, there's a very, very high pressure requirement. The client wanted us to explore chill beam. So we actually look into chill beam, but designing the chill beam using conventional method does not actually reduce much of the energy consumption, even with adding the heat pipe in there. But once we take advantage of the chill beam features where we can be operated at high temperatures, we see a major reduction. So we are talking about at least a 43% reduction energy consumption from a base case scenario. Okay, and future implementation of rooftop PV and facade PV will drive this building closer to a net zero scenario. Okay, let me talk a little bit on the active chill beam. The active chill beam allows us to split the cooling and dehumidification of the air conditioning system. So we have two separate systems. Okay, one to do primary just to do the cooling, which is using the chill beam, okay, the sensible heat. We have a high chill water temperature. So this allows us to have a separate chiller supplying to this chill beam. And because of the high temperature, we get a very, very high COP of at least 10, as you should see here. And the heat transfer medium is water. Water has a higher heat transfer, specific heat than air. So it's actually less energy used to move this water than to use air to move. Okay. And so it's actually very, very energy efficient, but it does not do any dehumidification because the temperature is high. All right. So we need a separate system that does all the dehumidification, the extraction of the moisture out of the building. The system that we use is the conventional VAV system, but now because the chill beam is already taken care of the sensible heat, the VAV now is sized just to deal with the latent heat here. So the airflow rate is actually very low. Although we use the conventional chiller with a COP of 6.7, but we can actually target to minimize the cooling done by the VAV system. Okay, and I'll show you how we do that. To do that, to reduce the cooling by the VAV system, so that the most of the cooling is actually done by the chill beams. All right, because the chill beam is more efficient. Okay. To do that, what we have done is that we put in the heat pipe, a wrap-around heat pipe around the AHU for the VAV system. Now, the heat pipe will actually pre-cool the air, and then it will heat it back up. So the cooling in the VAV system is actually done mostly for dehumidification, removing moisture up, and it reduces the energy of cooling that goes into the VAV system in this case. So that's on the heat pipe. And in addition, what we do is we put in heat recovery wheel for the fresh air, because we have a lot of fresh air coming in. We put in a very high efficiency heat recovery wheel to pre-cool and pre-dry the fresh air coming in. Again, reducing the load that goes to the VAV system. So the more we reduce the load in the VAV system, the more efficient the entire system will be. So that's how we optimize the energy of the system. The rest of the energy efficiency implementations are actually very, I think it's a standard. We have a very airtight constructions, and this is not only reduces energy, but it is required for chill beam, because if it's not airtight, the outside air is moist. And when it touches the chill beam, it will start condensate at the occupant space. That's not what we want. So the building was designed especially airtight. So we get a lot of exhaust air for the heat recovery view, so increasing our efficiency further. Okay, the site was selected for north-south orientations. It has a very well insulated building envelope. We have a triple glazing in there, very, very high performance, low E glazing. Okay, oh yeah, there we go, the double OE glazing. And then we have a very low lighting power density with photo sensor and motion sensor. We work with the HSBC to make sure that all their equipments are actually Energy Star rated. So their plug load power consumption is actually much lower than average buildings, average office buildings. We also have a CO2 sensors to make sure that we are reducing the fresh air when possible. We have a very high energy efficient lift because it's a high rise. We have high efficiency chiller, pump, fans, cooling towers, and low pressure loss pipe and ductwork. What is not written here as well, we also have a very sophisticated BMS system, building management system in here, in this building. Now, in terms of advancing zero potable water, in this building, we reduces more than 70% potable water by use of water efficient fittings. That's more than 50% reduction. We also have rainwater harvesting, which actually cover more than 50% of the irrigation requirement. And we are also using municipal non-potable water for the cooling tower. This project is located in the Tun Razak Exchange, TRX Kuala Lumpur, where this district, they collect all the rainwater into a big tank and they supply to all the buildings. So we are using this water for the cooling tower in this building. In terms of embodied carbon, we are actually using aluminum clad sandwich on cladding on the external wall and autoclave aerated concrete for all the internal walls. Modeling using the H app software from IFC shows that with these two features alone, there's a 24% embodied carbon reduction for the project. And we also have very high recycled and regional content. We are looking at the recycled content of 21% by cost and regional content of 23% by cost. Now, this is where the building actually starts to get quite interesting because there's a lot of efforts put into the health and well-being of this building. Now, this building was actually planned 4 years ago. So addressing the health and well-being in Malaysia is really a very new thing, right? So first thing is that this building is actually designed to be for active. You can see every 4 floors is connected through an atrium, right? So, and the atrium is right beside the pantry. So when the staff are actually taking a break at the pantry, they will overlook this atrium space, and at the bottom of the atrium space of every 4 floors is this breakout space, attractive breakout space. They encourage them to actually walk down the stairs, and then after the breakout, they can walk back up again. So to keep them active instead of just sitting in their offices. And if you notice, there's a lot of greeneries as well being planted all over, internal greeneries. It's a biophilic environment. I'll show you more of that. Okay. This is the biophilic environment. These are the office spaces with the greeneries all over, okay, to create a better environment. Now, in terms of air quality, I talk about the enhanced, it's actually more than the LEED enhanced ventilation rate. It follows the European standard. They have shown that the higher fresh air ventilation rate, occupant performance are actually higher. So we are actually using the European ventilation rate for occupants, for office occupants. We have real-time monitoring of VOC in there. If VOC suddenly goes up, we can actually increase the fresh air or go to that floor to identify the source of the VOC and remove it. So there's an active monitoring system of VOC implemented. We also put in the MERV13 air filter, which actually address all the virus and bacteria, and also the small particles, PM2.5. In terms of thermal comfort, the active chill beam system is a convection cooling, right? It's not forced air. So the VAV airflow rate actually reduced by at least 50%. So we do not get the harsh cooling of conventional air conditioning system, where the airflow is actually blown at our body at the high airspeed. So you hardly feel the airflow at all, but you feel the cooling. So the cooling, the quality of the cooling is actually very soft, very gentle, and quite subtle. Once you walk into this building, you can feel the difference compared to the other buildings in the tropics. Now, in terms of acoustics comfort, the mechanical system of active chill beam are totally silent. You notice that again once you walk into this building. You can hardly hear the air conditioning running because the airflow rate is very low. And we have upsized duct as well. So you don't hear the air conditioning system at all. Now, the outdoor noise pollution I addressed with the triple glazing, with lamination as well. So hardly any noise from outside get into the building. We have a well-insulated building envelope. It's an airtight building, so there's no way noise can leak in actually. And in terms of indoor features, we have we have soft finishing and indoor plants to absorb the noise created by the fellow building occupants. Now, another very interesting features that we put into this building as well is that the electrical lighting has a unified glare rating of below 19. Now, electrical lighting, glare from electrical lighting is often not addressed in our region. Okay, perhaps Malaysians are more tolerant of glare from electrical lighting, but in this building, the electrical lighting glare is very low, and you walk into this building, you will feel the difference. How much more comfortable the lightings are. Okay, it doesn't create any discomfort to your eyes. In terms of resources and circularity, we have the building FM, people from JLL. They put in a very stringent waste management strategy in there. Okay, they actually have 5 waste streams, which they monitor all the time. They are actually measuring it every floor, how much per floor, and actually giving KPIs to every floor as well. So their target is to reduce at least 50% operational waste to landfill. So which I was told they are achieving it. So these are the key features. So in summary, it achieved a lead goal under version 4, which is a little bit difficult for Malaysia 4 years ago because the documents for EDP, for the building materials, is very difficult to source in Malaysia. Our suppliers are not able to provide the EDP decoration sheets for their, so there is a big chunk of points we lose in terms of low VOC materials and things like that. So we lost a big chunk of points there, and yet we achieved goal with this building. It is highly energy efficient. You see the effort we put in to push the COP of the chiller beyond 10. And you can see this building as well is very high in indoor environment quality. Okay, that's it. That's all I have for today. Thank you.
Thank you, CK. We can really see that this is a very thoughtful design with the considerations all around our strategy area, fully aligned with the global agenda as well. Thank you so much. We're quite ahead of time, so that means that we have a little bit more time to address any questions. So I'm going to invite Rafael, Jolan, and also Sebastian to come back so we can have a Q&A together. So we have people dialing in from YouTube. We also have people at the attendance. If you have any questions, please feel free to put your questions in the chat box, or you can just simply raise your hand. Yeah, so I have 2 questions actually for everyone. So the first one is because we can see these projects, every project is quite unique in terms of region, in terms of type of the buildings as well, and also the key focus. So what is primarily the challenge, which is also the lesson you learned throughout the projects? Maybe we start from Lima Len.
Sure, that's a good question. And I think for our project, which is 800 hectares in size, and at the end of the day, we're not the only developers within the state. So for our projects, we see the value of sustainability, and we've been incorporating it into everything that we're doing. But a challenge is also to convince the third parties to do the same, right? And although with multinational companies who have a lot more experience in development and their own targets, they already see the value, but it's convincing some of the smaller developers to see the value. But I think once you're able to explain to them that it doesn't necessarily entail just additional costs, but that there is additional value down the line, I think they see the value. Now, looking ahead, I think technology will really help us in going from just sustainable to ultra sustainable. And what that's able to do is we're now being able to see how sustainable we are at any given moment, right? So I think the future will be very much more sustainable thanks to the use of technology.
Oh, I love this one, from now being sustainable to ultra sustainable. So there's definitely unlimited space for us to grow towards, and also to align with all the stakeholders, their mindset, their values, and also the principles moving together in one project is indeed the challenge, but it's also a good opportunity to bring everyone together to go beyond the conventional way. Jolene, is there anything you want to add in from this?
Yeah, aligned to what Raf has mentioned, it's really about campaigning about the operational effectiveness that everyone can attain once they incorporate all these technologies into not only into the buildings, but into the estate. So that's how we get everyone's support in the rollout of our sustainable projects.
Indeed. Yeah. So, and hope continually you will convey the same message and also this passion to the future projects that you're working together. Thank you. How about Sebastian?
I'll look
You're
at
on
it as
mute.
more,
Yes, no, good.
right.
Yeah,
So
you're
I'm
good. Yeah.
looking, okay, good one. So I'm actually looking at the level of change management and resistance management as well. So these are some level of challenges. I think it goes into a different spectrum. Like, for example, we're talking about project teams. They may have some challenges in terms of system interface and understanding, as you mentioned rightly, in terms of the right standards you want to put it in, especially on the specification. From the end user's perspective, they were looking at, oh, I'm going to lose my assigned space into a flexible space. So that is the level of comfort, right? So in terms of the FM perspective, then when they take over, they will be looking at, oh, are we going to be, changing from conventional FM into a smart FM? And that it require an analytical stats, right? So that is where areas of expects that the different stages of different, end users, they might face a different challenges altogether. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. I think when we go ultra sustainable, we might actually start to challenge a lot of a conventional way of living. So maybe instead of everyone has your own room and it become an open space. So what does it mean in terms of how does it symbolize everyone's mindset in working space? That's something that we can discuss and also engage with the users. Let me just have a wild idea. Maybe in the future, like all the CEOs' room are the natural ventilated room with full of greenery and enclosed to nature. And that shows that how luxury or how the high standard is like, which is different from conventional aircon room. Yeah, we never know. So maybe the next project we can bring in this kind of new things in. Thank you, Sebastian. How about CK?
The challenges that we face in the project, I guess, would be to actually get everything implemented correctly throughout the process. Because what we see is that things can go wrong at every step, right? From the concept to the design on paper to the contractors ordering the equipment. They may have ordered something wrongly, and to the installation at site, they may not have put in a fan too close to the pump, too close to the fan. So all these challenges we have to monitor carefully throughout the whole process, and to make sure we are delivering the building that we promised. So that was the key challenges, I would say, that we face. Now, in terms of the future of commercial buildings, I would say that probably net zero will be a very big thing, because our clients are already talking about it. HSBC is already talking about it. They need to achieve net zero by 2050 or earlier. So I think that would be a very big focus going forward.
Yes, definitely. I think doing things right in the first place, we can have a beautiful design, but how does design translate into the actual implementation, or even how the users are using the features we have designed initially? And that requires really the seamless communication throughout the design phase. Sometimes the design take longer than, let's say, 5 years, and that actually changing hands continue to communicate the same rationale, and that's something a big challenge, and also is something very important for us to hold accountable for. So I like the parts of future. So the future of HSBC is definitely the continue this commitment and also the implementation of advancing net zero, and really that fully aligned with the World Green Building Council's advancing net zero principle. So we hope more and more organizations are taking the step forward, being the front runner to commit advancing net zero by 2030 as a leader, or 2050, which is 10 years ahead of the global goal. Right. So again, coming to this topic of future. So Sebastian, what do you see the future of commercial building gonna be?
I'm looking at mainly to moving towards a higher efficient operating model in terms of system, and also the design, and also net carbon zero is definitely one of the key. Where are the renewable energies or green energies that's available for all the buildings itself, and also at the same time I'm looking at artificial intelligence and machine learning to help out to shape our operations profile, and also at the same time to enhance the people-centric environment.
Indeed.
Thank you.
There's a lot of things we can actually go beyond the human capacity, and also to bring the future into our world. Yeah, so not afraid of bringing technology in, because it enables us to give us additional capacity to see and experience the future. So yeah, if you have the chance to visit Schneider, the headquarters is actually very futuristic the moment you enter. That was a pretty good experience. Right. So how about let's hear from Jolene, and we can have the honor to have Raphael to help us conclude on this topic. Jolene first.
Yeah, I think the future of commercial buildings will really be more human-centric. It will be designed on the health and well-being. A lot of those features are incorporated in the building that we're currently constructing now, and a lot of good features was shared as well by Sebastian and CK. And all of those really translates to productivity. And as we all say, as part of responsible development, is the heart of the design. Wherein the buildings are designed with the heart for the human and for the environment.
Exactly. What we're designing is for our dear users, and they're going to spend a long time in our building for their work, their life, and even this environment will potentially shape who they are eventually. So that's actually put a commercial building in a very strong responsibility to really create the future of all the lives. Thank you so much for bringing in this human-centric, user-connective design into this vision. Raphael, so can we have the honor to conclude this topic?
Yeah, I think looking towards the future, it's also going from looking inward to looking outward. So, typically development would have been single use, whether commercial, industrial, or residential. And I think now there's going to be a lot more of what else, how do you incorporate beyond your boundaries into what you're providing to the user. And I think this forum and this organization is fantastic, because it allows a lot of collaboration from across different industries and from across different countries. So I think the future will be like that, outward looking and collaborative.
Right, outward looking, collaborative. No one can do things alone. And we have to join our hands together to create the future that we envision. And most importantly, that future is for every one of us. Right? Thank you so much. And really great to learn so many great things from your 3 projects. So we're really honored to have you as the finalist, which showcase a lot of things that are possible in our industry. So the award ceremony will be held in Bali, Indonesia. It will be a beautiful place for us to celebrate the winner of this APN Awards. So join us either live or come to Bali to witness the winner of this project. But nevertheless, they are already deemed as the outstanding projects and also the greatest example in our industry to learn from. So we can also hear from today's panelists about what they envision for the future. So 2 years later, we'll be revisiting these APN Awards and hope all these wish lists will become the actual project features in the next run of the APN Awards. In that way, I'm really glad to conclude today's session. There will be 2 more webinars running next Wednesday and Thursday for the residential and also the institutional category. So looking forward to that, and thank you all of you. Bye-bye. See you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.